If you own real estate, you might be wondering, what's my home worth? And what's the best way to determine value? Let's take a look at 4 options. You get started online. Realtor, Redfin, Zillow, those are my 3 go-tos. And there's others, but those are the 3 I use most. You can typically find value on a property on all 3 sites. If I do, I'll use the average of the 3 values. So when discussing refinance scenarios with a homeowner or someone looking to buy their next home, they're going to sell their existing, what type of net equity will they have if they sell their home? And you'll see the estimate of value, you'll see a low, you'll see a high. You'll see historical value, so you can see that climb in equity over time. Online values are a great start, but they cannot take into account condition, upgrades, and unique features of your property. And to illustrate how different online values can be compared to market value, I had clients purchase a property just a few years ago. It was a gut remodel. And when they were done, what an amazing place to call home. And the difference in current online values versus current market value is over $300,000. It's not always that significant, but where I think online values can be spot on is if you own a property in a very large subdivision. Houses are very similar, square footage wise, lot size, all built around the same time, and there's sales that take place throughout the course of year after year. So the data is very relevant, very recent. Your next option is to order a CMA, a comparative market analysis. You'll contact a realtor and they will access information through their MLS, multiple list service. There's over 500 MLSs across the country. They're very location specific. And realtors can pull the comps they feel that are best for comparison to your property and take into consideration your condition, your upgrades, your unique features. A CMA is definitely a better method to determine value than what you find online. Now, your next option is an AVM, automated valuation model. AVMs have been around since the 1990s. Lenders have long used AVMs when reviewing appraisal reports or even in lieu of appraisal reports to determine value. AVMs can be very detailed. In fact, you can order your own through clearcapital.com. For $15, you get a very detailed report. Just ordered one myself, 16 pages, all the comps listed, map of the area where the comps are located, even a confidence score and the value determined by the AVM. When you compare both CMAs to AVMs, which is better? Well, you have to keep in mind that CMAs rely on the realtor's interpretation of data. So if you had 3 realtors providing CMAs on your property, you might see 3 different values. AVMs rely on data alone. There's no human input, and they've been the preferred method for lenders for a really long time. I think you'd be wise to have both an CMA as well as an AVM on your property. Your last option is to order your own appraisal report. And appraisers go through many hours of training and many hours of supervised appraisal work just to have their license. They go through continuing education each year. And I know appraisers who've been at their job now for 20, 25, 30 years. They've likely seen thousands of properties. Appraisers are considered experts at determining an opinion of value. And when they write up an appraisal report, it could be anywhere from 25 to 50 pages in length, depending on the type of property, depending on the scope of the report. You could see 3, 6, 9 comps, sold comps, active comps, comps that are under contract. And the appraiser will do adjustments for the haves and have-nots of each property to determine your value. Having your own appraisal in hand could be beneficial when selling a property as additional confirmation of your value on top of the CMA and AVM. If you're in an equity buyout situation, you inherited property, you need to buy out your siblings, you are going through a divorce, you need to buy out your spouse. If you want to dispute your property assessment, if you call the assessor's office and say there's no way my property's worth what my assessment says, they'll say, fine, you can appeal, but you'll need some documentation. Having an appraisal in hand to show your property value is less could help you win in getting your property taxes lowered. Lastly, having your own appraisal in hand could be beneficial if you want to dispute a lender's appraisal. If the value falls short, if you're buying, selling, refinancing, and you want to dispute, you can request a reconsideration of value. And if you have a CMA, an AVM, and an appraisal in hand that all show your value is higher than the lender's appraisal, I think you're going to be successful in your request for reconsideration of value. You just can't use your own independent appraisal for your financing. Lenders are required to use AMCs, appraisal management companies, to order the appraisal, and the AMC assigns the appraisal to an appraiser in their roster. That's to keep that part of the process as independent as possible to avoid any conflicts of interest. If you have any questions on the various methods to determine your property value, you can connect with me via my Linktree. And if you want to learn more about credit, financing, or real estate, please be sure to like, follow, or subscribe.